Hi, my name is Angelo Buratti. I'm the president of the Rotary Club of Birmingham Breakfast. And what I'm here to tell you is about foundation. It's not just about matching grants. You perceive that foundation is only about matching grants, and it's not. And I was of the same opinion. But it's about peace fellows, people that go into the world and they show the rest of the world how to create peace. And we as Rotarians fund that. And to me that's fantastic. And you need to see the bigger picture. You need to see what we create in Rotary. And that's what this film's about. So that you can be proud to be a Rotarian, just like me. Thanks.
This idea of a promotional video, I don't know how they haven't thought about it before, because it's such a good idea to bring together the fellows and promote the program and talk about their experiences. And I mean, we are in England, so we are talking to English people, and so it's another dimension.
Technology and
Can we do another job in the meantime?
I didn't know about the Rotary mission at all in the past, because there is no Rotary clubs and Rotary missions in my country. In 2012, there was very sad news and bad things happens in Burma because of the Buddhist extremist peoples and the Rohingya Muslim community, the stateless community in Rakhine State. And the violence conflict has destroyed more than 8,000 houses and hundreds of people lost their life. And I was like, okay, and I think it's the right time to jump into that area, and because I really want to know about what is going on and how can I do. So I decided to move from Mandalay to Maungdaw, which is the place where the violence conflict was started. My parents and my wife, obviously, they were not very happy because the place was really, really dangerous, and no one, even the government security force, say we cannot gun free your life. Even people from other countries, they come to help the people here, and I'm kind of like a citizen of Burma. I think I should help, and I must do something to contribute the peace process. So I joined UNHCR, United Nations Refugee Agency, and I work as a program associate. We had kind of very limited knowledge about the peace building initiative. Sometimes the things that we want to improve has completely different result, especially in the kind of very sensitive area like Rakhine State. So I think this is one of the main driving force which made me kind of a Rotary Peace Fellow, because I think conflict resolutions, international developments, and kind of humanitarian work has kind of a link. So say we are going to do humanitarian work, but if we neglect kind of conflict sensitive and how they are sensitive about their religions and their ethnic identity, like humanitarian work very often leads to war and things like that. So I love humanitarian work, and I don't want to mess up the conflicts and the peoples doing humanitarian work. So Rotary Peace programs is absolutely perfect and is absolutely fit with my ambitions and what I'm going to do after my fellowship.
So my name is Tamara Lorincz. I'm a Rotary Peace Fellow at the University of Bradford. My professional background is in environmental law and policy. I was the executive director of the Nova Scotia Environmental Network. And so I have a great passion for the environment, but I also have a passion for peace. And for many years, I've been involved with the Canadian Peace Movement. I'm on the national board of the Canadian Voice of Women for Peace. And I've also been involved locally with the Halifax Peace Coalition. We do not have in Canada a post-secondary institution that is recognized as a leader in peace education. And so as a Canadian who cares very much about peace and wanting to learn more about peace education, I can't really do that in my country. I have to come here to the United Kingdom and to attend the program at the University of Bradford, which is sponsored by Rotary International, to do my studies here. The City for Bradford is also recognized as an international city for peace. It houses the National Peace Museum. That's something we also don't have in Canada. Rotary International knows that peace is vital to living together on this fragile planet. And because Rotary knows this is so important, that it's created this fellowship that young activists like myself can apply to and get the kind of peace education that we so need. And I would like to be one of those educators that are teaching peace and teaching about sustainability and helping to bring up a new generation of students and of young citizens that care about the environment, care about each other, and that are going to make a difference in the world.
I am Philip Ikita. I'm Nigerian. I'm a sociologist and development worker. I've also worked with representatives, especially in the Niger Delta, where there's lots of violence and youth violence. I've worked with representatives there to strengthen legislative processes and make the voices of youths to be heard. I also did work in Sri Lanka, working with an organization that connected with local NGOs to protect civilians during the crisis there. Before I got in contact with Rotary, I was my first visit to a big city in Nigeria. I just saw this huge signposts talking about a 4-way test. That was my first contact with Rotary, this 4-way test. And then subsequently, I know Rotary have been involved with lots of work in terms of polio eradication, and my country is one of the 3 countries that polio remains really stubborn. I'd heard about the Rotary Peace Fellowship many years before, but funnily, Rotary people are fantastic people. They're very friendly people, and so when it comes to supporting and interacting to promote peace, their friendships know no bounds. And so I was nominated by a Rotary club in the USA. I had applied the first time, and I couldn't scale the first interview process. I still applied in the following year, and I prepared hard. And on that second application, I think the selection process was even harder. But because I was prepared for it, I was able to scale it. And then I come to Bradford. Everywhere in the world, it's known that Bradford is a great center for the study of peace. And so the diversity of students of peace studies here in Bradford is a testimony of that reputation. The way cultures and events contribute to peace in different places of the world. And that, I hope to get back to Nigeria, and I believe that this whole new perspectives will help me to influence more people and more government people and more communities towards peace, to appreciate peace and work for peace, and especially the youth. Yeah.
My name is Franny Noble. I'm from Cohasset, Massachusetts. I'm a Rotary Peace Fellow at the University of Bradford, and it's one of 5 schools around the world that Rotary has international relationships with. The program is a 15-month program, so it involves 2 semesters of academic classes, a summer internship, and then a fall semester where the student returns to the school and writes an academic dissertation. What drew me to the program in particular was the international focus of Rotary. It's not limited to one country, it's not in particular tied to one specific geographic region. So when you enter into Rotary and become a part of that community, no matter where you're studying or if you choose to become a Rotarian later on, it really is a global movement of local communities. So of the 70 who are currently studying at the school, I believe over 65 are from outside of the UK. So it really does draw an international contingent. Prior to my studies at the University of Bradford, I was working in East and West Africa for over 3 years, and I would love to return to that area of the world to continue some of the work that I was doing. I was particularly working in areas of child protection and social welfare, but I'd also love to branch out and work in larger development programs. So I think this program has really helped launch, hopefully, the next stage of my career of working with larger international development programs with NGOs, but also understanding the greater peace and conflict realm in which these programs operate. When we go into a particular country, if a government has donated aid or another organization is working on a development project there, it's really important to understand the peace and conflict perspectives and history that country has gone through or may still be going through when implementing those projects. So the program at Bradford, if anything, has expanded my understanding of conflict sensitivity, history, political and social issues, and I hope to be able to bring that to my work in the future. Well, the one thing that I said to Rotarians when I was speaking with different clubs this week, I was on the radio, I was at a school as well, is that it's not really about everyone studying peace studies. We have journalists who come into the program, midwives, doctors, politicians, judges. I've worked in international development. We have people who've worked with refugees and asylum seekers. It's not about trying to turn everyone into the vision of a perfect peace scholar, someone with a peace studies master's degree. We're allowed to take different classes and pursue different master's degrees, all with the intention of of enhancing our future careers in the areas that we're already interested in.
So my name is Adedoyin Ogunyemi. I'm from Nigeria. Back home in Lagos where I live, I see things that Rotary has done, things like building of wells or refurbishing of schools or donation of equipment to schools or to hospitals, and then that's how I knew Rotary was in existence, but I really did not know what they did beyond that. So during community campaigns with teams going out for polio immunizations and all of that, we had Rotary also give some input to that in terms of they supplied some things we could give children and mothers as incentives to get them to be immunized. But I noticed that there were a lot of conflicts even on the field trying to get people to get the immunization. And that was why I was interested in something that had to do with conflict and peace related issues. You know, I'd always had this myopic view, but what coming to study here did was to broaden my view about life. And, you know, I feel a lot more empowered. I feel like I can make a change, both by going out, speaking up, and perhaps sometime in the future getting into a place where I can influence policy. And with the background knowledge that I've been able to acquire, I will be able to do that and see a better community, a better Nigeria, a better world, and that's really why I am so grateful to Rotary.
My name is Caterina Becorpi, and I come from Italy, from Florence, and my sponsor club is Firenze Val di Sieve. I decided to join the Rotary program because at some point in my career I was looking for a chance to go back to study and go back to the conflict resolution and conflict management field. I've studied conflict in my undergraduate, but then my working experiences brought me more on the development side. I work in Zambia, Haiti, and Togo as a project manager and then head of mission for the Red Cross. I've always wanted to do better, to go beyond. And if I have to say something about this program, and especially the Rotarians that I've met so far, this is something that Rotary people have in mind. Like, it's almost like nothing is impossible. And this is what I'm mostly taking advantage of in this experience. I feel pushed to do better, to be with people, to really put into practice this idea of service. And this is something that I will take with me even when the program is finished. Not only for a legacy with Rotary, because we build relationship with Rotary people, but also in my future working experience. This idea of being with the community and do something for the community. It's something that I feel in me, basically, and this is one of the highlights of the program. And this is one of the reasons why I would advise anyone who has the chance to do it to come and do it. Because there is, of course, the university and the academic profile, which varies according to the person who's coming and the interests of the person. But then there is the Rotary relationship, the Rotary family, because I do think it's a family. And these people who open their doors to you and are there to support you throughout the whole period, you feel backed up, looked after. I mean, I have no words to say thank you to these people. I had a module called Africa Study Visit, and we went to Sierra Leone for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And that is definitely the highlight of the whole university program, because we had, and this doesn't really happen all the time, we had the practice and experience in the field part connected to the academic part at the same time, because usually you go out in the field, you do your research or you work, and then you go back to study the way I did. And so it's your process to connect what you are studying with what you experienced. But in this Africa Study Visit, we had our academic leader, which was the professor, and we were a group of 13 students. And so we had meetings throughout the 2 weeks, and then at the end of every day, we had our academic meeting with the leader, and everything was coming together. And it was, I think I really appreciate the fact that my mind was pushed to expand and to really understand from both sides what was going on in Sierra Leone. And so again, you need to question yourself and ask yourself, okay, so why am I thinking this way? Which are the assumptions? It's because I've been brought up in a certain environment, or because I've studied something, or because of the experiences. And so I would say that in the end is both a personal growth and a professional growth. So it's this combination of things that makes the program really, really worth it.
So my name is Sharon Edington. I'm from Australia. I'm not just speaking for myself when I say that the Rotary Peace Fellow program is the beginning of a lifelong relationship with Rotary. That's how we see it. We understand that we've been selected not just for our work experience and those sort of things that you see on a CV, but because Rotary sees us as potential instigators of change in our community and the communities that we work in. And that's something that I take really seriously, and that's something that I want to do with my life. So the two things meet, what Rotary wants and what I hope to do with the rest of my life. I see the world